all started in 1947 when a New Mexico rancher named Mac Brazel discovered some strange debris some 60 miles outside of Roswell, New Mexico. Brazel notified local authorities, and within hours, U.S. Army Intelligence Officer Major Jesse Marcel was collecting debris that he says was none of this earth. Marcel drove the debris to the Roswell Army Air Force Base, where a public statement was quickly issued saying, quote, a flying disc had crashed into the small New Mexico ranch. But that statement was almost immediately recanted, with the military saying an experimental weather balloon had crashed. This would be the first of a long line of government explanations of what exactly happened that night.
Nearly 40 years ago, on an early December evening, something strange is spotted in the sky above the village of Kecksburg.
Yeah, I watched it, and it was just like a big fireball. Then it was headed towards the mountain. Then it come back a pretty good piece, and the first thing I know, it made a U-turn and went down into Kecksburg, down in the woods there.
Less than 2 miles away, 16-year-old Robert Blystone sits on the back porch of his parents' home. He also spots the strange light.
It was just a round fireball. You know, flames all around it with these different color vapors behind it. And it just started slowing down, like it was being controlled. And next thing I know, it's beyond the hill where I can't see it no more, but then I started seeing like smoke, dust coming up out of the woods. So I kind of figured it kind of crashed.
Across town, Bill Bullybush jumps into his Corvair and drives to the Kecksburg woods. At the top of the hill overlooking the woods, Bullybush stops, then turns on his parking lights so he can see into the valley. A strong smell of sulfur permeates the air. As Bullybush makes his way down the hill, he hears a sizzling sound.
I could see it down in the valley there, and that's where it landed, right in there, and knocked top of the trees out and everything else. So I stood there for, well, I'd say 15 minutes looking at it.
Back at the crash site, Bill Bullybush is trying to decide whether to move closer to the smoldering object partially embedded in the ground.
The color of it was like a burnt orange. It was burnt from the front clear to the back. And I could see this ring around the back of it. And it looked like Egyptian writing on the back of it. There was no windows in it, no seams, no rivet marking. It was just a solid piece.
Bullybush fears the smoking object may explode. So after 15 minutes, he retreats. On the way to his car, he hears curious residents already gathering outside the woods. Bullybush climbs into his Corvair and returns home. Though they have a limited view, the group can see a plume of blue smoke rising from the forest.
You don't have to believe in UFOs to believe residents in Stephenville, Texas saw something in the sky last week.
You know, it's kind of spooky. It really is.
The first sightings came just after sunset. Something big, something fast, something weird.
I saw 2 red glows. They glowed, and then they kind of faded. They glowed again.
Leroy Gayton is a county constable. His son saw the whatever, too.
It looked like it was faster than a jet.
The sightings are big news in this rural community southwest of Fort Worth.
It kind of is the talk of the town right now.
Newspaper reporter Angela Joyner has heard from dozens of witnesses.
It was very intense, bright lights. I keep hearing that over and over and over.
So, who else saw the UFO? As fate would have it, I was driving past Stephenville last week at the exact time the objects were spotted in the sky, and I remember looking up and seeing absolutely nothing. Of course, I wasn't walking through the woods with Randy Sorrells.
And I did just like this, and I could see it. And if you look at the trees, you know, it's right here. I mean, it's 300 foot up, right here.
The military has no record of its aircraft in the area at the time, but those who saw the object say it was bigger than an airplane and made no noise at all.
Did you see a UFO? I did.
Presidential candidate Dennis Kucinich did not see the Stephenville object, but he's among 14% of Americans who say they have seen a UFO, including hundreds who saw these lights over Phoenix in 1997. Back in Texas, investigators from the Mutual UFO Network plan to look into the Stephenville sightings this weekend.
Something's up there. Everybody is seeing something. I'm not saying it's extraterrestrial from outer space.
Hoping to figure out what exactly is up in the Texas sky.